are we today? But like for real, how are you? Because I've come across some pretty startling statistics from a poll taken just a few short months ago by the American Psychiatric Association, and the results on loneliness are in, and they are, shall we say, absolutely startling, to say the least. For example, they found, and this is from January 2024, that about 1 in 3 US adults, and if you're tuning in from another country, I hope this statistic is way better for you, but feels lonely at least once a week. And let me repeat that for those in the back: 1 in 3 people in the US feel lonely once a week. To make matters even worse, 1 in 10, I don't have enough fingers, but 1 in 10 Americans say they feel lonely every day, according to that poll. Every day. That's a lot. So if you're feeling lonely pretty often, or even right now in this moment, you're not alone. And the numbers show that, unfortunately, very clearly. So we're going to take a look at loneliness today. It's such a massive epidemic in our society, and we're quote unquote more connected than ever by social media at the same time that we're less connected than ever in person and in the depths of our relationships, which is how the US news article I found that talks about the results of this poll defines loneliness, which is having a lack of meaningful or close relationships or sense of belonging. And before we dig in, for my new friends here, hi, I'm Julie Bethany, and I create content to empower you to live your best, most authentic life as the truest you version of who you are. And I give you tools and resources to do that here. And I should say, if we're not official friends yet, I'd love to keep hanging out with you, and we can do that if you subscribe to the show here and or come hang out with me where I'm most active, which is on the gram at Julie Bethany, where I share daily empowerment for you in even more bite-sized bits. Okay, let's do it. Here's the agenda for today. We'll start with how we got here, aka why loneliness has grown to the wild size of crisis it is today. Then, how to combat any loneliness you're feeling. And finally, how to enjoy spending time with yourself too. But also, please note, I'm not going to sit here and tell you today that loneliness is just a matter of perspective, because it's a really important feeling. We have to signal we need something we're built for, which is companionship. So while I will share with you how enjoying spending time with yourself more is helpful and a good thing, and something that's helped me a lot in not feeling as lonely, we still do absolutely need other people, and I want to highlight that too. Your feeling lonely is valid, period, exclamation point. Okay, so how do we get here? Why is loneliness the massive crisis it is today in our society? Now, to understand the gravity of this crisis and some potential reasons behind it, that poll also shares that single adults are nearly twice as likely as married adults to feel lonely on a weekly basis at 39% versus 22%. So a little bit of an increase. And if we look at those rates at which people are choosing to not get married as early on now versus in the past, that rate has gone way up. In fact, there was a study conducted by the National Center for Family and Marriage Research, fun, that says that US marriage rates have fallen nearly 60% over the past 50 years. So in 1970, about 76.5 people were married, half a person. And today, about 31% of people are married. Whoa. Maybe that was for thruples, that 0.5. Now, I'm not married, and this is not an open invitation to slide into my DMs, by the way. But if you've hung out with me before on this show, you know that I have been engaged before. And this is becoming more common too. Roughly 1 in 5 couples' engagements end up in broken engagements, and that couple never gets married, according to the University of Virginia. But I'm also not about to suggest that marriage is the answer, because have you ever felt alone in a crowded room? That song was intended to talk about love, yes, but you can be sitting next to someone and feel even more alone than when you are alone if that relationship isn't super solid either. But what this highlights to me overall is that we are more independent and individualistic than we ever have been. And women are able to do things like work, for example, minor detail, and attempt to provide a living for themselves. Sort of, in this economy. That's another can of worms and crisis we're not going to address today. But speaking of crises, the pandemic absolutely took a toll on human connectedness. The pandemic and technology and our ability to adapt has also helped us work remote or hybrid, which is great, but more things are online now than they ever have been. And I bet you knew this was coming because you are one smart oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. And I love those. But yes, social media has entered the picture in this conversation, but maybe not in the way you think I'm about to talk about it. We do have to highlight that social media has strengthened our obsession with ourselves for some, and it's also created a pseudo connectedness or a feeling of knowing people we don't actually spend quality time with, like a parasympathetic relationship. A parasynthetic relationship. I'll look that up. But I'm about to argue that technology and social media are actually some of the things we can use to help us combat the loneliness we're feeling. So let's talk some ways we can use social media, technology, and other strategies in general to combat any loneliness you're feeling. So I'm going to share the hot take here that we absolutely can use social media and technology to make us feel less lonely and happier overall. And not to go all Mel Robbins on you, but seriously unfollow the accounts that make you feel lonely and unhappy on social media and start following the accounts instead that make you feel happy and make you laugh and that put a little more light into your day instead of darkening it. We are consuming social media like we consume food, and things we consume make us feel a certain way, of course, and are either healthy for us or they're not. And social media consumption is no different, right? So, do you want to consume junk that makes you feel bad afterward? Like maybe in the case of fried chicken nugs, we do, but overall, why not replace what we consume with some healthier options so we can feel better afterward? We can use social media and technology in general for good too, but we've got to put the right things into our feed by following accounts that uplift us so we can feed ourselves good things too. See what I did there? And the CDC also has created a full list for us of things we can do that can help combat loneliness. And those things are spending more time with family and friends. And as a note, I live across the country from my family and best friends. And you can actually learn more about how to maintain close friendships when you don't live in the same place by checking out episode 50 of the show if you'd like. But some other options to combat loneliness are joining a group or club related to an interest or hobby, like maybe a book club, a regularly scheduled workout class so you can feed two birds with one scone and gather those endorphins, baby, or the like. You can also spend time with others in nature, and nature is known to boost our happiness, by the way. And pro tip, I take my best friends on walks in nature with me. And you're asking how? Because you just said they're across the country, girl. Well, I bring them with me on the phone. So I'm out enjoying nature, quote unquote, with them. I also take them all to Target because it's my happy place. Anyway, another thing you can do is express gratitude to others. And gratitude is another one of those things known to boost happiness. And fun fact, we can't feel gratitude and anxiety at the same time. How cool is that? That's because our brains literally can't be in a state of appreciation and fear at the same time. So a little text to say, I appreciate you goes a long way for you and the receiver, especially if their love language is words of affirmation. You can also volunteer with community organizations so you meet people in your community, or you can, and I thought this was a funny one from the CDC, honestly, because I live in New York City, and there's some characters around here, let me tell you. But you can also get to know your neighbors. And I am going to put an asterisk on that and say choose wisely which neighbors, because I am friends with some, but I've also got some entirely wild ones in this building, let me tell you. And my next door neighbor is pretty cool though. And to personally add to that list, I'd also say as far as technology goes, I've had friends have massive success with things like Bumble BFF and the like when it comes to connecting with people in your area and forming real relationships with them. And I've also had friends with massive success with things like, therapy, because therapists are trained to help you find good solutions to common problems you're experiencing. And we've learned that loneliness, unfortunately, is a pretty common one. So that can be really helpful too. Okay, finally, let's talk how to enjoy spending time with yourself. I don't know who I'm quoting, so please let me know in the comments if you do, because I couldn't find it myself, and I love giving credit where credit is due, but I love the thought that sitting alone in silence can either be perceived as loneliness or as peace. And we do need balance, of course, and we do need other people, absolutely, because we're wired for community and connection. But it's also really healthy in doses, of course, to spend time alone. And to enjoy that means we need to enjoy ourselves. And not everyone loves spending time with themselves because they may not enjoy themselves as a person. And if that's you, or if you have friends who feel this way, please know it is my truest belief that you are here for a reason. And sometimes people don't act in a way that's super flattering if they're feeling unhappy. And if you find yourself acting in ways or have friends acting in some ways that aren't super cute and flattering right now, it's a symptom of a deeper problem, namely that points to the fact that you or they are feeling unhappy. So the real thing we need to do is address that root issue of what's causing the unhappiness, and then taking steps to get into a better, happier place and therefore a better, happier state. So if we don't like spending time with ourselves right now, it may be because we've not taken the time to resolve some unhappiness in our lives, and sitting down and thinking about what we really want is really important for us to do in that case, if that is the case. And or we can take time with ourselves to see what it is we really enjoy doing that can help us enjoy that time we have with ourselves even more. I've found personally that doing more of the things that I enjoy not only help me meet other people who enjoy them too, for me to connect with, but it also helps me enjoy spending time with myself even more in those moments that I am alone. So if you do find a good hobby you love, it will make you feel better and hopefully eventually lead you to some pretty cool people too, as an added bonus. So what do you like to do, and how can you do it more? If you do fun things with a friend, you'll enjoy spending time with them more. So apply that to yourself too. Do fun things for yourself. But also, let's try and balance that with adding in more fun things to do with friends too. And overall, if you're feeling lonely, I hope what you'll take away today is that you're certainly not alone, and that it's really common today, unfortunately, to be feeling this way, and that there are things you can do to feel better, and that there is help available if you need it. And it's not shameful or weak in the least to take care of yourself if you need it. It's truly one of the strongest things you can do to admit you need support. And it's important for me to say too that if you do need support, the crisis helpline is 988. We are 1 in 3 of us, in fact, going through this together. And if you do anything today, I hope you take one moment to imagine one thing that would make you feel better and take a step to do that one thing, no matter how small it is. Because every positive change in your life starts with you making a decision about what you want and taking one small step toward it till you've arrived there. And I'm here with you, cheering you on. Okay, that's all for today. And if you like this episode, will you do me a favor and give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, rate it, or subscribe, because I would love to keep hanging out with you here or on Instagram at Julie Bethany. And hey, if you're feeling stuck right now and want someone, aka me, to guide you through the exact simple steps of getting unstuck and getting moving on your goal right now to feel happier, I have a free mini course you can watch now, and a full-length one too if you really love it. And you can find that at juliebethany.com/courses or in the show notes here. And I'll put a clip in after Kippen makes her episodely appearance too. I hope you go today and start to live the life of your dreams as the best, most authentic, truest to you version of yourself you can be. Because when you do that, you show others it's possible for them too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Here she is, ladies, gents, and everyone. Can you say hi? Oh, so good. Can you say hi to the camera? Yeah, good girl. That's all we have for today. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Yes. I interrupt myself for this very important announcement. You're so welcome. I am beyond excited to share with you that I have a free mini course you can take right now, but also maybe wait until after you finish this episode. But to each their own, I'm not going to stop you from doing you. But the course is about helping you get unstuck and re-inspired if you feel like you're in a place, like a lot of us do often, honestly, where you just don't know what you want next for your life, or if you do, how to get it. The mini course includes 10 quick minutes of me sharing strategies to help you get unstuck and re-inspired, and comes with a complimentary one-page journal entry you can download for you to work through what you want for your life and how to create the momentum to get what you want next for yourself in the easiest and fastest way possible. And you'll take away actionable items you can apply right away. And as a bonus, after the initial course, if you still left wanting more, I'll tell you about my full-length version of that course that will walk you through creating a goal and a plan to achieve it in order to get you closer to the life of your dreams you want to be living, and the exact steps to do that over the next 3 months. I will hold your lovely hands in mine and guide you toward figuring out what you want and then how to get it efficiently if you want to take it a step further. I shall run the marathon with you after the sprint so that in 3 months you will have achieved something you really want in your life. All good things take time, so for the sake of the best version of yourself and the life you could be living 3 months from now, which will fly by, you don't need to put off your dreams any longer. You deserve to live the life of your dreams as soon as possible, because why not? So let's start today. I'm ready. Are you? To check it out and get the free mini course so you can apply the tools to improve your life right away, and or to learn more about the full-length course about going from stuck to re-inspired and really crushing a massive goal in only 3 months' time with me, the links are included with this episode. I can't wait to see what you create for your life with it. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming.